Hi there. Here we are again on the roof of the hostel that we're staying at here in McLeod Ganj. It's Tuesday night, November 6th, and keep delaying on getting videos out, and I want to get it out before I forget about these experiences that I'm having, thoughts that I'm having. And luckily I get some encouragement from back home. Some friends tell me, hey, keep doing it. So here we go. And the other day I attended a Chinese conversation class with some Tibetan monks, some Tibetan women, some Tibetan men, Bhutanese guy. And they're all in the early 20s, and they were talking about how their life would change if they had children. And they were talking about how great it would be and how they would protect their children, and they would push their children in school so that they would do well. And they talked about how it would help them when they're older, they wouldn't be lonely. They would have their children there that could help them do the dishes and the laundry and clean the house, and very Asian culture thinking. And and they looked at me and they're like, "What about you, Burke?" And I was like, "Well, for me, it's not really imagining because I do have 5 children, but I can tell you how it's been for the last 17 years, and I can tell you that when they're young, I'm very worried about protecting them physically. When they're learning to walk and they don't really have as much common sense as to stay away from hot things or out of the road and things like that. And then when they get older, it's much more of a emotional protection, and you don't want them to get hurt, which is kind of funny because everyone's going to get hurt in life. But you want to protect them as much as you can. I told them I don't really worry much about them in school. First off, my kids seem to be doing pretty well in school, but I don't even check their grades. It doesn't really concern me too much. I find that everyone will get their own pace in life in their pursuit of knowledge, and my concern is that they're happy and they're productive, people, and they're caring and loving, and they know the right thing to do, and they do that, and don't lie, cheat, steal, all those things. But then I turned it around back on this class, and I said, well, here's a question for you. What do you do when your children are what you would consider to be misbehaving? When they're going down the wrong path, how do you bring them back? What do you say? How do you, scold them or teach them? And they were all like, "Oh, that's such a great question. We're gonna have to think about that." And then one guy, he responded. He goes, "I don't think it really matters what you say." I said, he goes, I think it's much more important what you do. And I was like, all right, well, continue with that. Explain it. He goes, well, it's not that you tell them that they shouldn't lie, cheat, steal. It's that you personally don't lie, cheat, and steal, and they see that, and they learn from you, from what you do, and then they'll do that. And I thought, wow, that's great. My heart kind of sank a little bit as I thought about all the years that I wasn't thinking, and full on smoking, drinking in front of them, and always telling them, don't do this when don't do this ever. And I was much more of a do what I say, not what I do type of parent. And then luckily, with the little love, support, encouragement, kick in the ass, I turned my life around. And I'm still continuing to need to turn my life around. And so then it felt good. I was like, well, at least I do agree with you, and I am going down that path now. So that felt good. It just kind of a little. I mean, here I am learning parenting tips from a 20-year-old who's single and no kids. So you never know who you're going to learn something from if you let yourself be open to it. And then what else was going on? Oh yeah, I was thinking about everyone knows the expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Well, for years, my wife, we've been married 18 years, been together 20, and I'm still working on how to be the right person for her, and stop getting in my own way, right? And so she's like, sometimes when I come to you with problems and I'm venting, I don't want you to fix anything. I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to listen to me and maybe tell me that it's all right. Just give me a hug. Just love me. And so it's taken me a long time to get there, and sometimes I still don't do it right, but I'm learning. But what's even more amazing is how it's taken me even longer to realize that I can apply that same philosophy to myself. Every time that a problem arises in my mind, when I think that things aren't right, I don't need to push to fix it. Because a lot of times I find that when I do push to fix it, I tend to make it worse. Be it with my children, be it with my wife, be it with myself, in my own mind, beating myself up because I'm like, oh, I need to fix this. And, this goes back to the same thing that I've talked about in the past, which is, attachment and getting rid of that attachment, expectations. And so the idea of, even if it is fixed, even if it is broke, don't fix it. Sit in it. Let it be. Just kind of live with it. Accept it for what it is. And, I'm not saying like, oh, you're sitting there with a broken leg, don't do anything. I'm saying, if you've created an issue, an argument, don't keep hounding on it. Don't just sit there and be like, well, why not? Whatever. Just kind of be like, take some time, and then go back and visit with a cool head. And I think that's something that I really need to work on. My kids have been pushing me, really testing me, and this is something that I need to do to be a better parent. So that's all I've been thinking about. Sorry, it's been a long one tonight. But I love you all, and have a good night. Bye.